Hello, greetings. Let's see, as people start to fill up the room. Hi, I see a lot of familiar names. Hi, Rich, Patrick, Paula, Vicky. So nice to see you. We have about 170 registered for tonight, and I was just telling Karen, who's on the line with me, that I was pretty specific about who would benefit from this webinar. So we should have a group of people that are interested in being service providers and really building their business a little bit more, or even just starting it, because there's many new people out there gaining Camtasia skills and PowerPoint skills. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm Michelle Schoen, and if you don't know me yet, if you stick with Learn Camtasia long enough, you will probably see me again on a webinar with Lon Naylor. We do webinars every couple of months or so on improving your Camtasia skills and your PowerPoint skills. But tonight I have a special guest with me, and she is Karen Miller. And I'm going to just give you just a few sentences on Karen, because she does introduce herself in the webinar in just a couple minutes. But she is the CEO of an agency called Design to Train. She is an instructional technologist, instructional designer, and Design to Train is an instructional design and media production agency. She says providing services from project concept to delivery on corporate learning management systems. She does e-learning as the specialty, and most of her business comes from referrals. She says about 90% comes from referrals, but you have to start somewhere, right? She is based north of Houston, but works with clients all over the U.S. And she is, lastly, she is a certified as a federal WOSB and state TXHUB woman-owned small business. I have no idea what those are, and I am sure that Karen will let me know about it. And so Karen and I have chatted on and off for the last few months. She's a really smart lady. She's taught me quite a bit. I've taken a course from her already, and I am very excited to introduce her. So with that said, oh, and by the way, yes, if you have to leave early, we will have a replay. God willing, nothing happens with the technology, but we will have that for you in the next couple of days. All right, so Karen, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and I appreciate all your help and really look forward to us doing some more work together as well. Hey, I wanted to tell you thank you so much, and yes, you are at the right place. Now, a lot of you are Michelle's clients, and so am I. Would you mind putting your name in the box and just saying where you're calling in from? That would be kind of cool.
We actually have a few different people who have already done so. Chuck is from Niagara Falls. We have Dick from Colorado. Yvonne is from British Columbia, Ontario, Canada. Susan, hello, from Chicago. Patrick from California. Looks like people represent the full. Oh wait, we've got Ian from Australia, so it's not just the U.S. And
Wow.
They're still coming in, but I'll let you go ahead and move on.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for coming by this evening and taking time to connect with us. Now, let me just give you a quick little introduction to who I am, because I always like to know, hey, who's the person behind the event? Well, I am V. Karen Miller. And my first name's Valerie. I go by Karen because there are so many Karen Millers in the world. I go by V. Karen. And so if you'd like to friend me on LinkedIn, I am V. Karen Miller. My husband Scott and I live in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston. We have 4 grown children that are married, and we have 2 beautiful grandsons. Now, Scott and I love rescuing dogs, and we currently have 4 dogs that keep us busy. And this is Zippy. She's our wild child Raggle, which is a beagle and a rat terrier. Now, I thought something fun just to share about me was this summer on vacation in Palm Springs, I got to meet this guy. Does anybody know who this is?
I was wondering about that picture at first. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's her husband, and I didn't want to say anything about the hair because, she loves him, What can I say? Who is that? No, no idea.
Now,
an ancient alien. Dick says it's an ancient alien, perhaps. I don't know.
Yes, it's Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, and that was really fun meeting him. So, hey, you know a little bit about me now. Okay, so why should you listen to me? Well, I have over 25 years of experience as a senior instructional designer and project manager. I have literally created hundreds of hours of custom e-learning programs for corporate and federal and state agencies. I am a 3rd-generation educator with a passion for teaching with technology. And yes, I earned my master's degree from Texas A&M. Whoop! I'm one of those lucky people that got to put my passion and degree to work. Also, as an adjunct professor, I have enjoyed teaching hundreds of graduate students. And in fact, 25 of my students became technology leaders in their California K-12 school districts as a result of a single homework assignment in my class. Now, as a corporate training leader, I've managed many national and global e-learning programs on many diverse topics: high-tech, software, online communities for K-12, transportation, insurance. My corporate teams have won 2 national training industry awards. We have saved thousands of dollars and earned a reputation of consistently delivering high-quality training on time. And in 2001, I fulfilled my dream and founded Design to Train, a full-service, award-winning instructional design agency. And we offer all types of services, including our own green screen and audio production, as well as an online conference center. So, enough about me. Let's get on with why you are here. Tonight, you will learn how to land the big fish, or how to get top-paying corporate clients with your instructional design training and Camtasia video skills. Now, let's take a quick poll. Type in yes or no. Does at least 50% of your business come from corporate clients right now? And Michelle, I'm actually not seeing the chat, so you're going to have to tell me.
No worries. No worries. I can tell you. Well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Oh, no, I was going to say, I'm looking at the chat and I'm looking at the answers coming in, and I thought everyone was going to say no, but we have a couple of yeses so far.
That's wonderful.
But more no's. So, yeah, hope that tells you what you want to know.
What does that mean? That means that there's a tremendous amount of growth potential just waiting for you. Okay, so what are you going to learn this evening? To get started, here's our value-packed webinar. Well, first thing is, our focus is taking your instructional design or video production skills and business to the next level by opening up new markets and opportunities for you. Now, does that sound interesting? Do I get a yes on that? And Michelle, you're going to have to be my eyes on chat.
Oh, I am. Yes, you're getting a yes on that.
Right. The information will be relevant to those who work in companies or are business owners or business owner wannabes, but caution, you may learn something new. Now, in addition, we will share the most profitable e-learning skill that you need to build your skills and make more money. And if you learn this skill, I guarantee that you will be light years ahead of your competition. And we will be interesting. You're gonna get a valuable resources handout during the Q&A session, so hang on for that as well. There. And oh, did I say that we are going to have door prizes? Did I say something about brownies? So, hey, hang on the line for that too. Now, what's a win for you? Now that you know more about the webinar as you're listening, be sure to jot down what would be a win for you for tonight's program in the chat box. Help us help you by sharing your single most important questions again during the Q&A session. So do we have like a special win? Could somebody put that in? Like what would be a win for you tonight?
If it were me, and I'll start the ball rolling, a win for me, and this is Michelle, your hostess for tonight. I would love to understand more about those acronyms I explained about you earlier when I was introducing you. So what that means, what kind of business is that? So that's what I would like to find out more about. Okay, let's see. And Patrick says a system for getting higher paying clients.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, now Yvonne, she says she creates videos and PowerPoint for herself to teach classes. Do we have some information that would be applicable to Yvonne?
Actually, we do probably have a little bit. So hang on here, Yvonne. You might learn some new things because we're talking about growing your business too. So I'm appreciating you and Patrick being here, and that's great. Any other wins?
Yes. Erica says software. She wants to know a little bit more about the software you use. Rich says he says how to uncover corporate market opportunities. Susan wants to find out if she could do corporate freelance work part-time. So there we go.
Perfect. You know what? I think that each one of you is going to have a win for the evening. So let's get started. We're going to put on our business development hat now. Have you heard of the terms public versus private sectors? And what's the difference? Well, private markets refer to employee-owned companies and large corporations that produce all types of products and services needed in the marketplace. And since I've worked in corporations previously, it was not a stretch for me when I became a business owner to approach them when I started my own instructional design agency. But one of the things that I want you to realize about large companies, do not be intimidated about approaching people in large companies, because a large company is actually made up of a bunch of small departments or divisions that often operate independently. And companies often have very decentralized training departments, which means that these small divisions in that departments have the authority to purchase training and or video production services. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to sell to ExxonMobil, I'm going to sell to like one little business unit in ExxonMobil, which would be like a little tiny business. Does that make sense, Michelle?
Yes, I can see where people will be very intimidated by thinking they're approaching Delta Airlines, but most of these businesses are, yeah, there's lots of little business units within units. So
exactly. So what I would recommend to you is start to get to know people who work in corporations by friending them on LinkedIn or by attending local networking events. Now, with the economy coming back strong, companies are hiring and are now needing more contract services for training and video production, just like yours, to keep up with the internal demand. And guess what? That is a great thing for your business. Now, the other type of contracting is public contracting. When we say public clients, we're referring to government agencies at the federal, state, or local levels. Some federal public agencies you might be familiar with would be like the Federal Aviation Agency, the FAA, the Veterans Agency, the Department of Transportation, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Now, why do I mention these agencies? Because they regularly release RFPs or requests for proposals to get bids for products and services that you might provide right now, including marketing, training development, classroom training, and yes, video production. As a small business owner, there is a great opportunity to get new work and clients in the public marketplace. Now, for example, my company won a bid to revamp a very ugly 40-hour PowerPoint presentation and turn it into a beautiful standardized format for the USDA headquarters in Virginia. And I got paid $50,000 to do that. That was a pretty good little contract.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I'm not bragging, I'm just stating facts here. Because
everybody wants to know. Everyone wants to know. Everybody asks me, what I make or what do I charge per hour or what would I charge for this or that. And I sometimes feel reluctant to ask others, but I appreciate you being transparent.
Sure. Well, from 2003 to 2015, the Texas Department of Transportation contracted with me as a Texas hub. That was that TX hub, Texas hub, and hub means historically underutilized businesses, and those are women, minority, and service disabled business owners. So they contracted with me to teach small business owners how to use Microsoft Office, and how to build a business website. We made money each year, but the last 5 years, we were averaging $65,000 a year just working part-time in that contract and getting
are you saying
$2,500 to $5,000 per website.
Oh, that's nice. How many years did that go on?
I was doing it from 2003 to 15, and then the program closed down, or I'd still be doing it.
That's a long time. Yeah, beautiful.
Now, then, this was kind of the biggest cash cow that I had. The federally certified company. I was federally certified, an 8A company at the time, and I was a subcontractor to a very large construction company. They were part of URS, and we were working on a Houston light rail project. My team was supposed to build a database, a website, and build a training program about safety around light rails. I invoiced for 4 people working on site for 1 year, and that year made $385,000 a year.
Karen!
So what am I telling you? Why did I mention that? Again, I'm not bragging, only stating fact, because if you are not considering selling to local, state, and federal agencies, why not? And you know what? Here's how to get started selling to clients in the public sector. Do you all want to know? Give me a yes if you want.
Let's see. No, nobody wants to know, Karen. Nobody wants to know. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw you off a little bit. Yes.
Remember, you are my eyes in the chat board. I can't see it. Okay, so here's some specific programs. And by the way, we do have I've prepared a really good handout for you. So all of these websites and all these things I'm telling you about, they're in that handout. So don't freak out if you're not taking good notes, okay? There's some specific programs that are government-sponsored certifications. They're called set-aside contracts. And this means that only certified companies can compete and bid on these. The only types of companies to qualify are women, minority, or service-disabled veteran business owners. If you are a small business owner, put in the chat box, or any of you in that category. Do we have anybody, Michelle?
Yes. A lot of people are saying yes, they are. I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that most of the people coming to this webinar are a combination of either retired folks, people who want to make additional money. So they're small businesses. You don't have to be incorporated. Susan asked that question. And hey, maybe I'm wrong. Do you have to be incorporated, Karen?
I really think that you should have at least an LLC, because you want to separate your business from your personal, and there's tax advantages as well.
But to bid on To
Yeah, we're not going to get into that tonight as much. Well, you know what?
okay,
We're going to get into a little bit of it, but
okay,
let me go on. So
okay.
when we think about federal agencies that support small business, the first one everybody thinks about is the SBA, the Small Business Administration. And you can find out more information at their website, of course, sba.gov. Now, in addition to certification, they have local offices across the nation in nearly every major metropolitan area. And they work collaboratively with another group called the Small Business Development Center, or SBDC. So you could check in your local area for that organization. Now, this could be a start of something very big for you. Now, the second agency, and nobody even knows about this. This is probably one of those diamond in the rough things. This is the PTAC, and this is my personal favorite group of small business help, the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. Now, these are sponsored by the Department of Defense. Isn't that kind of odd? But they typically have offices in community colleges. And the PTAC offices provide free services and information, and they provide information to all kinds of businesses, and they also help veterans, whether they're service disabled or not. So check on this website and find out where the local PTAC is, and find out what kind of free programs that they have for you. When you start getting certifications, remember, you can get like local, state, and federal. I would say begin at the local first, because you get all your paperwork together, and amazingly, you may even have a bunch of new agencies that you could immediately start marketing to. So you don't have to wait. One other mention about certification: just like government agencies are required to have small business participation, so are large corporations. So the effort that you put into getting certified will also help you getting into large corporate contracts as well. And each large company has a special department for small business participation. So again, too, they kind of get kudos for using small business owners. Now, once you're certified, you will be eligible to bid on set-aside contracts with the following agencies, because of your city, for example, has reciprocity agreements with other agencies. Now, for example, if you lived in the Houston metro area like I do, you not only would you have certification with the city of Houston, but with the Metro, which is the Metropolitan Transit Authority, and that's buses and light rail, with the Port Authority, with the Houston Independent School District, and think about how many campuses are around in that, my goodness. The Houston Community College, again, multiple campuses and headquarters. The EPA, I thought that was kind of odd. The Houston Housing Authority, the Texas Department of Transportation, and then the airport transportation agencies. And there's actually 3 airports in the Houston area. So this, for example, the City of Houston certification is valid for 3 years. And where do you start? Well, you have to go to your local city, county government. And a good place to start again is with your PTAC. Now, the graphic shown on this slide comes from a contract that my company completed with Texas Tech University to convert a 1-hour classroom training course into an online course to be delivered on their university learning management system. The project was $20,000. That's not bad. And the reason my company was considered was because I'm a woman-owned business in the Texas Hub program. So certifications pay off. Now, are you starting to see the picture that there's a lot of opportunity available that you could get started on?
You know, I was curious, excuse me about that cough. I was curious, so you don't have to be a woman to get these kind of contracts, right? I mean, it was an advantage to you to be a female-owned business, but it's not just for that, right?
No, it is. These are considered set-aside contracts for women, minorities, and service-disabled veterans.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay. So I guess my question is the men that are on this call,
Uh-huh.
they can't get these type of contracts, but
Well, of course they are, because think about it. Who are they married to? Hello. There's a
oh,
lot.
okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. For these particular types of contracts, they need to be a woman or be married to a woman. Okay,
Yes.
is that what you're saying?
Or,
Okay. All
or
right.
here's the other thing too, is that let's say that you don't fit in those categories.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's fine, because seek out the companies like this to do work for them. Be a contractor to these companies, because
Oh,
they're
okay.
going after huge, and I'm talking like sometimes $1 million contracts. So
Okay. I see, because Greg just asked, so single males aren't eligible for these particular contracts? No.
correct,
Unless you
correct,
are a minority, right?
right, yes,
Or a veteran.
and usually a service disabled veteran. Yes,
Service disabled veteran. Okay, so
yes,
Susan says they need to be from a woman-owned business so they can put the business in their wife's name. Okay, right, right.
yes.
So, and then for single men for these contracts, you're suggesting they find out who these companies are that are bidding because they're
Do
big
yes.
projects, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
do a Google search
Mhm.
on women-owned businesses in your city or county, or federal or state certified. For example, in Texas, it's called the Texas Hub. So find out who those companies are and offer your services to help them. They can hire people who are not, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
But the company gets you in the door, then you're going to need good people to do the work.
Got it.
Okay? All
Okay.
right. So let's go on. This is my theory of life. In summary, why does public and private clients, they remind me of the Jolly Green Giant theory. Now think about it. The Green Giant has the generic peas. They have the Green Giant peas, and they have the LeSueur peas. It doesn't matter what kind of peas you purchase. The Green Giant goes ho, 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 all the way to the bank. So the moral of the story is finding new, big, hungry markets who want and need your products and services just makes sense. Find a way to sell your training and video production services and products to all types of markets. Just like the giant, diversify your market base and think big. Now, give me a yes if you've learned something new so far. Michelle?
Yes. I know. You want me to look in the chat. Yes, yes. Can I ask you just a couple questions from some people on what you have
Yes,
shared
you
so
may.
far?
Okay.
Okay, so Gord wants to know if he's Canadian. Can he qualify for U.S. type of contracts?
Um, no, but he would be able to work with U.S. contractors.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And Annette, don't the WOSB has to have 51% control?
Yes, at least.
Okay. Okay, we're getting lots of yeses in response to your
Excellent.
question. Okay, so go ahead, move on.
Let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears. Why would you want corporate clients? Well, corporate clients are great because they always need new training programs. Whether it's a new program needed for federal safety compliance, or there's been an industry or company incident that's caused personal property injury, suddenly there is a great emphasis on needing to get a new program out there, and they need it like tomorrow. And of course, companies are always introducing new products and services and processes, and then they have to train people, the employees, contractors, and customers on how to use these products. Now, one of the trends that I have observed over the years that our corporate training departments are either understaffed, overworked, or not prepared, meaning staffed or equipped to produce e-learning or instructional video. Now, this is good news for you since they've already put into place budgets to supplement their lack of training development or delivery teams. All you need to do is just tap into that market. Another trend that I've seen, especially in the energy sector, remember I live north of Houston, when there's a downturn or restructure, the training departments are the first to go and they are the last to be rehired. Now that is great news for you if you own a training development company, because they have realized already in their budgets that they need to hire contractors or small businesses to fill in for those staff requirements. Probably the best trend is that now broadband internet access is readily available, and there is a growing demand for video training development, period. People don't want to read, they want to see a quick video on how to. And if you know how to create a variety of videos like talking heads, the PowerPoint presentation conversions, or quick animations, you can help them provide the right type of training to meet that specific need. Now, while all of these factors are important, what I love about working with companies, and this is going to be worth your time here, is that you can negotiate when and how you get paid. For example, in every corporate contract that I prepare, I always get at least 30 to 50% up front, with the final remaining invoices aligned to deliverables. This means on a $40,000 contract, I can negotiate usually about 50% or $20,000 up front as startup cost, and then get paid the final payment of $20,000 when I deliver the product. If I can do this, you can do this. But my biggest reason for focusing on corporate training projects is twofold. There's a bunch of companies out there and they have a lot of money to spend now. Does this resonate with you all?
You mean all those bullets? I think it's so exciting because I've made a lot of money off corporate, all the things you're talking about. And I also heard that in the next few years, we're going to go from something like 3 billion people on broadband to close to 6 billion people.
Wow.
Did you hear that? Because 4G is coming, so our field that we're in, our little Camtasia PowerPoint video field, is going to explode, you guys. So let's figure out how to make more money.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
how are you? Sorry, 5G. Susan corrected me.
Yeah, 5G. I wouldn't say anything, but that's
okay,
fine.
Sorry.
Okay, so as a small business owner, how do you get started delivering these services? Okay, corporations will not work with you unless you can give proof of insurance and meet their requirements. My advice to you is that you want to get this completed first, and then you'll be prepared to go after corporate clients. And why? Because you might just run across a new project and they're ready to get started immediately, but they're not going to wait for you to get your company in order, so be prepared. Now, here's some items that you need to have in place before going after corporate clients as a prime or subcontractor. And a prime means the contract is written to you. A subcontractor means that you are working, another agency has won the contract and you are only providing like video production services to them. So you want to have a legitimate business in place. That means that your company name is properly registered with the county, state, and federal agencies. Now, the counselors at the PTAC have free services and they can give you a checklist to meet your specific locale because each state is different. Be sure to follow the sequence or you will get even more frustrated. So be sure to get your DBA, doing business as, name for your company so you can set up your business checking account mailbox. For example, the DBA application costs about $9 in Texas for a 10-year DBA. And here's another hint. Search and see if the company name you want is available as a .com. If not, consider a different name. You want your company name and domain to match, and the .com is critical. It's hardwired into people's brains. You will lose business if you have a .net or .co or .biz or anything that's not a .com. Do I hear an amen on that, Michelle?
Amen, Karen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, you're going to want to get your IRS EIN number, and that's kind of like a business social security number. You can do it online. You can get it done in one day. It's free. Then you want to apply for your Dun & Bradstreet number. It's called the DUNS number. And I have a link in your handout for you to get a free version. So don't get suckered into paying them hundreds of dollars. There is a link for you to use, like I said, in the resources handout. Then it's time to get a postal box. I always recommend that you go ahead and get a postal box, and I've used the UPS store at my local shopping center since I started my business. They sign for packages, and I would, of course, never put my real home address on the internet, especially for women-owned businesses. Then you need to get your business checking account set up, and you want to shop around for the best deal. I'm going to put in a plug for my personal favorite bank. It's called BBVA Compass. They're based in Atlanta, and they are so business friendly. I've banked with them for over 15 years. And so just because a bank is a large bank doesn't mean that they're necessarily your friend, hint, hint. Okay. Of course, you need to get an e-commerce account so people can pay you online, and I use PayPal. It's awesome and easy to set up, and you get a debit card and financial accounting at the end of the year, so I love them. You're also going to need to purchase general liability insurance policy and have that in place. And so when you work on specific contracts, you will need to add that client as a named insurer on your policy. I'm not going to get into this too much, but I carry a minimum of $1 million plus $2 million for an incident. I have never had an issue with any kind of claims on it since I've been in business, knock on wood, since 2001. Now, other insurance policies you may need, depending on what kind of services you provide, would be professional liabilities, errors and omissions, and that's usually more for programmers. It's not necessarily for training and video people, and workers' compensation if you have employees. I also have an umbrella policy that adds additional insurance to my work, and I work with a local independent agent, and my company is insured by the Hartford. Now, another aspect in keeping your business costs down, especially for insurance, is I only hire contractors. I have a business model of I am the only employee, and then everybody else is a contractor. So in Texas, I'm not obligated to pay workers' compensation taxes. Your company will be rated on what type of work you produce, and working in an office and just infrequently making trips to the client, you're going to get a lower insurance rating. Just to give you some context, my insurance policy for being an instructional design company is around $500 a year. So it's not that bad. Okay, so if you're setting up a company and if this whole thing just sounds too much, you do have alternatives. You can work with an instructional design agency, or you can also find some contracts on freelance sites. Now, in reality, people often, post a very cheap project first, and if they like your work, you could get steady, regular work. But the freelance sites are kind of the lowest rung of pay, and they will typically not turn into corporate contracts. So you're going to be competing with low-wage, third-world competitors, and it really makes it hard to build your business. It's okay to get started just so you learn how to work with clients, but your focus really should be setting up your business or working as a subcontractor to a good instructional design agency where you will get a better hourly rate. Now let's move into the production aspect real quick. In this section, I'm going to share with you some tips and tools that we use to produce high quality training products. Our number one development tool is Microsoft Office 365. Hello, the online version. And you know what's great about that? We always have the latest version. And we just got updated to like Office 2019 at no extra charge. How many of you all are using Microsoft Office 365?
Let's
Please put a
see.
yes in the chat.
Yes, many people. Lon and I always talk about it when we do our PowerPoint webinars because they have the, the latest design tools in there. So yes, it seems that everyone, well, I can't say for everyone, not everybody's said, but a lot of people, yes.
Great, great. Well, the other thing too is what you may not know, and I didn't know this till about 2 years ago, that the Microsoft store in your local mall, they offer free training. And that's actually me teaching a class on how to get your small business certified last year.
Really?
So in reality, the majority of video training that we produce is converted PowerPoint presentations into MP4 files that we mix and edit using Camtasia. And I've actually used many of the tips that you and Lon have shared, Michelle. So thank you, because because you have experience. It just means there's always room to grow and learn something new. Even though I'm in the business, I love watching your stuff, and I'm always learning something new. So thanks to you for the tips that you generously provide to everybody.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Now, here's the thing. People make a big deal about wanting training developed in special programs, Articulate, Captivate, Storyline, but in reality, 80% of the training programs that are produced could easily be developed in PowerPoint and then converted into MP4s and be much less hassle for you and your clients, because then they could actually update them later on without buying expensive software. Now, here's one of my favorite places to get high quality photos, and this is called Unsplash, and they have a unique copyright free system, and the photos are free. Have any of you all used Unsplash before? So let me see a yes or no on that.
I have, Karen, and Lon and I recommend that as well. I love it. Big, beautiful, high resolution photos. Yes, we've got a few people saying yes.
Great.
Love Unsplash.
Well, another one of my favorite tools is Presenter Media, and I think you all use this as well. They have a ton of pre-done PowerPoint templates, and I just love them. So I've used them for over 6 years, and I'm always pulling something new out of there. Now, see this little guy right here, the little eye-catching link to get somebody to click and view a video or a website. It took 2 minutes to produce that.
I like that.
Yeah, he's kind of cute. He's a little new guy.
Right. New. Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen it before.
And then here's a quick video clip that I created in Presenter Media. And I use this at the beginning of each one of my branded videos, for example. And it took about, a minute or two to put the wording and the pictures in there, and then about a minute to compile it. And then what I do is add a music stinger. That just means a very short music clip, and add some fade transitions at the beginning and end of it. And then you have a very professional touch to all of your video work. It's like easy peasy. That's what I like.
Yeah, you were absolutely right about what you just said about 80% being able to be done in Camtasia. I was just making that point earlier today with a staffing agency in Massachusetts who asked me, what did I think? And I said, unless you are absolutely gung-ho about having drag and drop interactions, or people have to know exactly where they left off, so it resumes exactly. I would pick Camtasia over Storyline.
Agreed. Well, I want to say a big thank you to YouTube. If you produce video, back in the day, you would have to rent a studio time and have big expensive equipment. And the bill for like a finished production minute was about $1,000 per minute. But thanks to YouTube, the new standard is for a more informal look to training videos without a huge camera. And okay, wait a minute. I'm getting some vibrations here. I think I'm psychic. I can hear you saying, but my smartphone has a great camera. Okay, so I would personally never use my cell phone to take a video at a corporate client. And here's why. Number one, the optics of your client, you using a cell phone. I don't think that's too good. That would make you look like an amateur. But granted, I have taken some good still pictures, some extra ones with my phone, but I normally take snapshots from my video footage. And one of the big reasons I do not use my cell phone is because of the poor audio quality. So I recommend not using your cell phone as a regular video production device. Now, what kind of equipment do you need? Well, it all depends upon the type of video projects that you're going after. The equipment that I'm sharing with you now is used over in 99% of my projects. The equipment is more than sufficient, so you don't think you have to go out and buy really expensive stuff. Now, I have an extra room, and a couple years ago, I finally put in my own green screen studio that I'd always dreamed of. I bought a Lenco kit for $149. It came with the 4 lights, the drapery, the hooks, the 3 backgrounds, black, white, and green, and it has been one of the best investments. Now, one suggestion to you all, though, is once you get your studio set up, keep it there, because it is a pain to take it down and reset it. Hint, hint. Now, since my instructional design company goes after all types of training and video projects, we made the decision to invest in equipment that could be used in many circumstances. So when I get a new project, and remember I get like 50% of the money up front, I can actually add to my hardware collection at the time. And for example, I was working on one project and it paid for a new camcorder for me to begin with. Now, I have also added a lavalier microphone with a little wind protector. It's a little piece of foam at the end of the microphone to super improve the audio, both indoors and out. And since we now have 2 camcorders, we can set up our studio to have 2 camera angles. And the other thing is, don't be shy about asking for a discount when you purchase equipment. I saw this camcorder at Best Buy, and I went there, they were out. I needed the camera that day. I went down to Fry's Electronics, which is my favorite techie store, and they wanted about $100 more than Best Buy. I asked them if they did a match price. They said, no problem. I showed them the Best Buy price, and poof, I got my camera for $100 off. Now, about a month ago, I upgraded my teleprompter set, and I actually use an older Samsung tablet as a teleprompter with free teleprompter software, and purchased the tablet holder from Amazon for about $9, and I just attach it to a camera tripod, and it sits right under the camera tripod, so when I'm doing a talking head video, they look great and they can just read their scripts. How does that sound?
It sounds very nice. Now, this is when occasionally you're asked to do, obviously, full motion video. And some of your courses are probably just screencast, right? PowerPoint
Correct.
and screencast. So it's not a mandatory that you need to have a camera. I suppose when you get the project, you can go out and buy the equipment like you suggested.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, let me tell you something else too. You can recycle old technology, and don't laugh, but do you all remember like the flip camera?
I love that camera.
I have 2 of them. I love them.
I still have it. It works. $6.99.
So this was actually given to the stars at the 2009 Academy Awards, and it's so cool because it's like little built-in USB plug, and it even has the software to download the pics on your computer. I love it. So what I've done is I've actually just put it on a short camera tripod, and instantly I have like a 3rd and 4th camera. And what's cool is I'll change the effect to black and white in Camtasia, And it's just so easy. Just for the fun of it, I went on eBay today and I found this flip for $6.99. I mean, $6.99. So that would be not bad for an extra camera view.
I like that.
Now, for the special projects, there are going to be times that corporate projects require you to use special equipment. For example, in the energy sector, they are using a lot of drone footage now, especially like on rigs and the pipelines and that. A good drone is expensive, and of course, adding drone coverage to your business insurance is high. So how do I know? I actually got a quote for drone insurance. So the tipping point is, if you aren't operating a drone all the time, just go out and hire somebody, because actually when you do commercial work, you have to have a drone pilot license. So my thing is just say, hey, you know, at this point, I will just hire somebody to do this. And then remember glamour shots back in the day? Well, one time I needed some glamour shots of PPE, protective personal equipment, for a chemical training program. So I arranged to have them done professionally at a photo studio. They had a light table and all the equipment, and that PPE looks really, really nice. Some beauty shots there.
That's funny.
So
For
when
the
you
price
hire,
of the price of a glamour shot, you got
yes.
all those poses you get of the shoes looking that way and the shoes acting sexy. Okay. Oh,
Exactly. And
I'll
you know
let you
what?
go on.
You see them smiling. I see it. So when you hire a student, you're just going to add that expense to your bid, and then, you know, put another 10% on top of it to cover it. Another time, I brought in a professional local company with the video big guns. These are people I've known for 18 years. And when the final training product was like for a senior management level that absolutely had the most, you know, they needed like the most fine-tuned editing and super high quality video, just go ahead and hire a local production studio. And again, write it into your bid. And then I don't worry about the segments, because, you know, these are professionals and they know how to take care of this stuff. So the bottom line here is, don't be too proud or afraid to hire a subcontractor for those special video products that you are not equipped to handle. Okay, so in review, up to this point in the presentation, we've talked about opening up new markets in the public and private sectors, who to contact to get certified, and when you need extra equipment or skills, if you have a training project with special requirements. But we have discussed why you would want to have corporate clients too, and shared some of the video production tools and software that we use and recommend. I hope this was helpful, but here's where the real secret sauce is to building your business so it will differentiate you from other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, your unique selling proposition, right? Is that what you're referring
That's
to?
right.
Okay.
Let's face it. To get noticed, you have to break away from the herd mentality of training companies and how they operate. And everybody's in a rut on how they bid and produce projects. And you need to have a fresh approach and break out with a new way of thinking. Now, you need to let your clients know that you put them first. And we believe it's your job to make your clients look good and give them the knowledge, confidence, and skills to successfully complete an e-learning project with your team. And once you have that, you would have an easy to follow system. So where do you start with clients? Well, you educate them, because an educated client is the best type of client that you want to work with. And I don't mean turning the project managers. And when I say project manager, I mean sales manager, product manager, safety manager. I don't want to turn them into course developers. They already have a job. They're already busy. But what we're talking about is enhancing their SME knowledge of the product and their corporate management skills to include how to build an e-learning program using a system. What if you had a step-by-step system that you could share with them to reduce production cost up to 50% while delivering an e-learning project on time? Would you like this kind of system? Let me hear a yes if you would.
I'm watching. Yes, we're getting some shores, and I've already seen it from you, so I can say yes, yes. I'll look at it
Cool.
again.
So what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about a little 15-minute video. I'm talking about that sweet spot for my company of video production and e-learning projects that are about the $25,000 to $85,000 range. Would that be important to you all to be able to get those kinds of projects?
Yes, seeing lots of yeses, of course.
Okay, so what skill is the game changer for your career? It's e-learning project management. I know it sounds so simple, but do you know what it really takes to put together a great e-learning project? So this was the whole reason that I personally created the e-learning management academy bootcamp. Now, this program is a game changer and an e-learning training disruptor in a good sense, because it brings common sense to managing an e-learning project. Have you ever been intimidated about taking on an e-learning project because you just didn't know everything that was involved? Or were you caught in the middle of an e-learning fiasco? Well, e-learning projects are messy and complicated, and you have so many things going on at once. Or tasks have to be worked in a specific order to be most efficient. And e-learning projects contain the two most unpredictable elements, and those are humans and technology. I believe that a better project starts with a better educated project manager that shares the same vision, that has a common working language, and is willing to work smarter together with the developers. In other words, if you can make your client look good, they're going to love you. And this system can have a return on investment of anywhere between $5,000 to $25,000 in savings to your client, and up to 50% of staff time involved. Now, you are going to show clients how to build their own success roadmap. Remember that the bootcamp system totally removes the barriers, and if you're a newbie, you're probably clueless and struggling, or if you had a bad experience, you're going to be fearful or cautious about taking on a new project, or maybe you're in the middle of one with project delays, or maybe you're afraid of failure. Next, maybe you've created a few training projects, small ones, but you don't have a process in place where you could really scale to a bigger one. Or are you one of those fearless warriors that's consistently delivering high quality training on time and on budget? Well, wherever you are in this pyramid, we have your keys to success so that you can start off right, you can save money, you can avoid a bad experience, you can learn how to build your skills and help your client build their skills, and then also consistently deliver on time and on budget. What we have actually is a transformation process that works. We do not intend to turn the e-learning project manager into a course developer. That's not their expertise, and that's actually why you're there as an instructional designer or as a video producer. You want to make them look good. So we give you step-by-step guidance on how to choose and set up a project leadership team. Then we also have you become a tag team with the project manager. The project manager's role is to manage the overall project, while the senior instructional designer manages the development and delivery of the e-learning product. And working together, using your individual strengths, you will solve issues and keep the project on track. And together, you will succeed. Now, the EMA Bootcamp is based on a 9-point plan to get you from point A in the design phase to point B at the end of the deployment phase, the launch, in the quickest manner. One of the things about working with corporations is that corporate divisions are little fiefdoms. And we actually include coaching on how to set up the right internal project team. And we discuss how corporate politics needs to be addressed, since most projects require people from different departments contributing their expertise. We help you identify the need for and how to work closely with the supervisor, the project manager supervisor, and someone called the champion. And the champion's usually a division head or VP level person to help remove the political and department division barriers. We've seen so many projects literally go off the rails due to the human elements. So we teach you how to nip that in the bud. We also work with project managers who are young, who sometimes don't understand like the chain of command. And we have a little lesson on hierarchy etiquette for working with people who are at your level or above, and how to work the system better. And then this person, the administrative assistant, we affectionately call the gatekeeper. And we even give you some ways on how to work with the gatekeeper so that you can get in and meet with a champion when you need to. EMA Bootcamp is a defined program on how to manage an e-learning project from concept to completion, utilizing the strengths of key team members. Following the system, you will learn the secrets to project management and be able to teach your clients how to build a solid system, a solid team, and implement a design into a beautiful, high-quality training deliverable that's delivered on time and budget. In the process, we will teach you time-saving techniques, saving up to 50% of staff time, which the SMEs will love you for, and then up to 50% on production cost, which your client's boss will love. Now, if you could consistently save time and money on e-learning projects for your clients, do you think you'd have a winning formula? Do I hear a yes? Any yeses?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So once you've completed your first project, what if you could use the system over and over again to keep producing more great e-learning products? We call this the rinse and repeat method. This means that you keep getting repeat business and probably referrals to other departments or divisions in the company. Yes, it's possible. So here's just a quick overview. In the EMA Bootcamp program, in the design phase, there are 10 guided step-by-step instructional video lessons, and you're going to learn how to identify and work with your client to select stakeholders and contributors. You're going to get the game-changing checklists to guide you for who does what and when, and fill in 4 design phase key documents: the timeline and milestones, the statement of work, the project plan, and the course outline. You're going to teach and work as a team, and the project lead really is an instructional designer. And the final task of the design phase is the stakeholder kickoff, and that party will get it all started. Now, actually, we have cut the startup time for you to use the quick start method. So if you and your client focus only on the design phase to get that going first and complete it before moving to the next phases, you can get that done in like 2 90-minute sessions if you attend our live workshops, or you can do the whole thing online. The program is great because a project manager can get up to speed on what they need to do from day one. And you have the documents to work, and they're in the language that both of you will speak. You can even invite your client manager to sit in and listen if you wish. The Quick Start program includes live and self-paced video instruction, again, the game-changing design phase checklist, ready-to-use templates, and 4 key documents. Now in the development phase, this is the most long and most intense section, and I call this where the grind, this is the grind, because this is where you are actually producing all of the content. But the checklists make this a step-by-step process. It's a no-brainer. You don't have to worry, oh, did I need to get this done first or whatever. The checklists have it all done for you so that you can easily work together. And this is where your content of the text, graphics, audio, and video all comes into play. If you only produce videos, now you will actually have a blueprint to share with clients to show them how to work smarter and develop better video products. Now, I actually have a link to a video. I'm going to click out of here just real quick and show you, and I'll show you this link. This is the congratulations, you're an SME. How often do we say to somebody, oh, you're going to be an SME, and they have absolutely no idea of what kind of commitment that means? So this is actually a little 5-minute video.
Congratulations, you've been.
And you'll recognize my voice. But this actually goes through and it says, what is your job? Where are you going to work? Who are you going to work with? And this is a fabulous way for you to get somebody going as an SME. It's also a great conversation starter, and I have the link in the resource handout so you can view the entire training, and please feel free to share this with others. Okay, now I've been talking about the game-changing checklist, and you're like, okay, what is that? Hang on.
An SME is a subject matter expert, by the way, if you guys don't know what that is.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Throw that in there.
Thank you. So let's take a peek at the design phase checklist, for example. They are color-coded so that the primary person who's responsible for that activity shows up, and the nomenclature is checklist, task, and activity. There are over 50 tasks and over 150 activities identified in all 4 phases of the typical e-learning project. No wonder it's so difficult to try and keep up and keep all this stuff in your head. In fact, it is impossible. And the color-coded checklists are also duplicated in the timeline and milestones Excel spreadsheet. And this is where you're going to be tracking time and financial data on your project as well. The development phase has a lot of development in order so that there's no wasted time and money on unnecessary rework. And following the checklist steps can be a huge time saver. So for example, here's one, how to choose your best audio narration options using the audio matrix, and then create the storyboards. And this is like a one-touch system that saves so much time and headache. Then you're going to learn how to tame these major project killers, the never-ending review cycle. You are going to learn how to stop and add no more content and say, if more content is added, then this project is out of scope and you're going to have to pay me more. And when to stop and make no more changes. Draw the line in the sand. This is it. By knowing when and how to control these events will save you tremendous time and money, and you will be a hero. The deployment phase, it means that you're in the home stretch. Your team will load and test the final training on the learning management system, or the LMS, to make sure that people can access the training and the student record keeping is working. And then relax on launch day, because it's a great time to host a launch party and celebrate your success and wrap up your project. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. If you want to learn how to manage an e-learning project, or if you just want to dazzle your client and help them manage an e-learning project better, Bootcamp is your go-to method. Remember that Bootcamp is based on my 25 years of experience, and it's just like kind of looking over my shoulder and putting everything together into an award-winning corporate training program step by step. Now here's an overview of the Bootcamp features. The core instruction, you have unlimited access to over 3 hours of live webinars and self-paced training. Oh, you go, 3 hours, that doesn't sound like much. Believe me, it is jam-packed with information. It's more than you will want to go over. You're going to take, you will want to spend a lot of time on that and review it. Then we have the quick start option so that you can do super quick design phase implementation. We offer weekly Q&A coaching calls, and you can participate live or archived for mentoring tips and answers to your questions. And of course, the game-changing checklists for 50+ tasks and 150 activities with step-by-step instructions. We're talking detailed. Do you remember how detailed those were, Michelle?
Sorry, I was talking to you on mute. Yes, I found the checklists and the project plans almost better than the videos. Everybody wants project plans. Everybody wants step by step. Do this next. Do this next. Do this next. And I'm not going to look in any way foolish or anything. And with a corporate job, now that I'll have something to go by and say, oh, did you remember to do this? Did you ask them about that? So, good stuff. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. And then key project templates, the timeline and milestones, the statement of work, the project plan, and the course outline. And then the ready to fill in templates, we have stakeholder interviews, emails ready to send, and checklists. And the resource library, I like to call this the $1 Million Rolodex of tips and tools, and we will be adding to this as we go on. We've also mentioned that Michelle and Lon's clients, you can actually have a special bootcamp pricing. Now, typically the workshop sells for $697, but we are offering the bootcamp for $397. It will never be offered again at this low price, and I can tell you that as an Aggie. Aggies do not lie, cheat, or steal, nor condone those who do. So, if you think you can benefit from this program, I would encourage you to get signed up tonight and invest in yourself and your future business. And Michelle really twisted my arm for the best deal for you.
Because
yes,
she started out much higher, and I just kept negotiating down.
That's right. And there's even a PayPal payment plan option available. You can get started today. You can attend, a live quick start webinar, or you can just start with a self-paced training. You'll get the checklists, and I walk you through each step, giving some tips on how to move your instructional design, leadership, and video production skills from good to great. This is a differentiator for you. You will get key design templates again, and time-saving templates, and we offer a 30-day 100% satisfaction policy. And if that's not enough to make this deal even sweeter, we are offering bonuses valued at $1,850. The personal project kickoff call, in other words, a half-hour call with me, and we can just talk about your project. Also, if you want your timeline and milestones or statement of work reviewed, it's going to take me about an hour to review it, and then you and I will have a coaching call. That's valued at $500. You can even get professional development credit. My company is certified with the Texas Education Agency, so if you work for a company and you want some legitimate credit, you're going to get 6 hours of credit for that and a beautiful course certificate. And then you get 3-month access to the bootcamp instruction online, as well as the resource library, the weekly calls. And just think about a weekly call, you could get your questions answered. And I'm going to be on the call until we answer everything.
I just wanted to say a couple of things about Karen's course because I've taken it. I asked Karen to do this webinar after going through the course myself. As an instructional designer, I have some project management experience, not a ton, but I was incredibly impressed, and what I thought that the class would do for me, and a lot of you guys are in my same situation. You've got Camtasia skills, you've got PowerPoint skills, and you may have additional video skills too. I have all that. We've taught you how to use the tools. But what Lon and I don't spend much, if any, time doing is talking big picture with you guys, how to really, even if you're working on your own, the whole project plan from beginning to end, but you have to understand that if you are going to be working with clients who are in the corporate world or in government, you need to understand what is a design document. What is part of the high level design? How does the project manager, work with the instructional designer? How do you deal with revisions and things that go out of scope and, all those things, the templates, the checklists, for me were, I think I've already said this, the most valuable part because, I can download those and refer to those project plans and really speak very intelligently to my bigger clients and even play a bigger role with them. So I was really impressed.
Talk about just a couple other things too, we love writing big checks to our affiliates, and so we will be offering boot camp as a affiliate program. So if you are interested in like multiple revenue streams, we're going to have a short application, and so once you sign up as an affiliate and you're approved, you will get $100 per our regular workshop, which is usually $697, and you'll be paid in 33 days based on our 30-day satisfaction policy. But here's even more exciting, and especially with the holidays coming up, I am actually willing to share with you a 2.5% revenue share on a contract. So let's say that you have you've gotten a company, somebody, a corporation, to sign up for the boot camp and they like it, and then Design to Train can go in and try to negotiate a contract with them. You could get 2.5%. And what does that mean? If we're able to negotiate a $25,000 contract, for example, you would be eligible for $625 referral fee. You get half up front and then half at the end of the project when we do. I really appreciate you attending tonight. And remember that the only way that you fail is by not starting or deciding to quit. So you can do it. Please take action and keep moving forward. And I hope that you're getting excited about e-learning project management now. And I wish you the best on building your instructional design and video production company. And I look forward to meeting all of you. So let's go back to Q&A, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Beautiful, Karen. Thank you so much. Just a quick question here. Gord wanted some sample rates and project scopes for corporate training. Is that a kind of a loaded question there? Like a little too broad?
You know what? That's not what boot camp is about. But I would be happy to speak with him one-on-one and just share some ideas about that. But as I mentioned to you, my sweet spot for my company is projects that are from like about 25 to 85,000. And here's the deal with corporations. Often they spend a lot of money on like HR stuff and compliance and those canned programs. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm actually going after is those one-off projects. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That come up that have to be, like I said, maybe there's something that's happened recently. So I'm happy to share kind of how I do some pricing one-to-one. That really wasn't part of this program, but I would be happy to share that with him. So he just needs to get a hold of me.
Okay, let's see. Any caveats if you want to work as a contractor through an agency? Caveats. I guess what he's saying is what, don't do this, don't do that kind of thing?
Well, when I say agency, I'm talking really more like a company like mine. And what you would want to do is you would want to have a good working relationship and develop a relationship with the company owner and or the project managers, and feel like that you are in the same philosophical type of approach on things, because there's a bunch of companies out there, and there's ones that want to do the cheapest, crappiest, and have no they just produce junk that you wouldn't want to have, versus people who really want to provide value and offer really sound instructional training. So as a subcontractor, you'd want to see some of their programs. You'd want to talk to them before you got involved like that. Does that answer the question?
I will find out in a moment. Good advice, yes. The last question we have, and then we're going to sign off, is will the boot camp work for Canadians?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that. The boot camp, think of this as a structured program. So you could use the boot camp. This is just a process of developing e-learning. And the cool thing about it is I really put in no kind of promotion for anything like Articulate or that. I didn't say you have to buy this kind of project or that. It's actually based on Microsoft Office using PowerPoint and Word and Excel. And these are tools that everybody has. And then I do mention about using Camtasia because I personally use that for video editing. But what's great is that you can take the checklists and you can take the timeline and milestones. They are in editable form, so you can change them to meet the requirements of your project. So whether you are in the US or Canada, it doesn't matter. It's just a process.
Oh, yes, that's right. You had all kinds of emails in there that you could kind of cut and paste. I remember that, and I remember the Excel spreadsheet. You could just put in, whatever your own dates and all that. It's not as if it's a static PDF or something. It's all kinds of stuff you can work with in your project.
Correct.
So,
and then I also give you interview questions at the beginning, so that you can go to the learning management administrator, the marketing manager, the training manager, all these different people that are going to be contributors, and you have a list of questions that is ready to ask them. I mean, wow, how easy peasy is that?
Right, makes the job a lot easier. And yeah, I loved having access to all that stuff. So,
well, again, I want to thank you for spending your time this evening. I hope that you felt that it was worthwhile. I hope that you are excited about the prospect of some new markets and the ability to just do to deliver a better product, and also thinking outside the herd mentality. And I have some very game-changing ideas in the boot camp to really help you serve your clients better. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much. And Michelle, thank you again for being a great hostess. And I'm here. I'm a real person. If you need to get a hold of me, let me give you my email address. It's miller@design2train.com, and the 2 is the number 2, design2train. Thank you again, Michelle.
Okay.
Thank you,
everybody take care. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.